Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. I want to talk to you on the subject how righteousness lost its power. But before I do that, I'd like to share something with you about the privileged and how it works. You know, the other day, a white guy came to my house and he brought a dog with him. He didn't talk to me about bringing the dog, he just brought a dog with him. And he brought the dog on in the house with him. It's kind of like a small dog. I have a small dog. And so they walked all through the house like he kept the dog on a leash with him, like a little kid, taking him everywhere. And it kind of got on my nerves a little bit when we moved to the kitchen and you had to step over the dog. But what really got me is a little bit later on, the dog was running through the living room and people were sitting around. He jumping over on the couch and over on the chairs, and my dog looked at me like, "What's up with that?" My dog been living here at least for 5 years, so he might be 30-some years old, but he never ever thought about jumping on the couch, because I came from the South and we don't believe in dogs all over the couches and stuff where human beings are sitting. I mean, if you do, that's okay. And if you're gonna take your dog to somebody else's house, you should get permission to make sure that that dog will have the liberty to do what you want him to do. So it kind of offended me. My dog looked at me and said, "How in the world did that happen?" I didn't say anything about the guy. I was pissed, but I didn't say anything. So that represents that dog coming into an environment that he was not even familiar with, didn't even worry about what's going to be going on, was just treated just like he was at home, jumping all over everything. Because what? That's what they're going to let him do. That's what I allowed him to do. That's what you call acting a fool, letting somebody do what you don't want them to do. Well, anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. I know many of you would go the other way, but let me tell you about righteousness. Righteousness is different than evil, but it is robbed through a process. Righteousness resists evil. It is evil's job to try to conquer righteousness. But righteousness' job is to resist evil. Because evil, my friends, has no power. Evil can do nothing without the power of people. And so what evil is constantly doing is trying to divide, do whatever is necessary to get the people to come over and empower evil. But righteousness will just stand, and evil can accomplish nothing. But you know what happens? Someone comes along and says, "I will. I will." Have you seen it here in our government, where you've seen people try to stand up for righteousness' sake? Try to stand up for righteousness' sake. And somebody else comes along and say, "I will. I'll talk about anything. I'll talk about spaceships. I'll talk about anything that it takes to mess up the people's mind just so I can get part of whatever you're offering. I will." And so righteousness for that part is gone. But righteousness will stand. Now what happens if righteousness does not submit, or at least to some level or degree? The only thing then that righteousness can do is to stand. Now, if it gets tired of standing, it can submit. And that then indicates that there is no righteousness except what evil says it is. So the moral of the story is, to be righteous and to defend it means that you must die. To be righteous, I know you don't want to hear this, but this separates the real from the fake. To be righteous, you must die. Otherwise, everybody in the churches and everything is righteous. But how many of them are dying for that righteousness? None. They are what? Submitting. Everybody that's got a job is submitted to the system of the world. I'm not knocking you because you got a job. I'm just saying you're submitting to the system of the world. You didn't have to. You could have resisted and made sure that the system that you established would have been a righteous system. It wouldn't have been causing pain and suffering to no one. It would have benefited everyone. That's what righteousness is about. But someone came along and says, oh, you say I'm better than they are? I deserve better? And you can do more for me than what we are doing for one another? I will. And they keep going. Now you've empowered them. The next thing you know, they have, by your power, claimed all of the resources of the earth. The iron, the steel, the mineral, whatever they are, above the earth, on the earth, in the earth, seen or unseen. They got their name on it. Then they want to monopolize. So you can't do this. Then they want to do every other stuff to get money, because money is your replacement for love. And so what do? They will not come up with, they will not allow cures to sicknesses and diseases exist. Only treatments. They will not allow you to do anything. They got the Supreme Court is the ultimate power of the earth. Well, not the earth. The ultimate power of the United States of America. You see what they just did? They just took away women's rights to do what women want to do with their own body. Just a few of them, they took it. And they expect 350 people to bow to it. They have ignored hundreds of years of black justice, or justice for blacks. And black people have allowed it to happen. See, what we got to do now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to say this, I'm just going to say it. What we're going to have to do is this. We're going to have to change this thing. We're going to have to change this thing. And we must be at the table. And when we get up from the table, black people must be as satisfied as white people. And white people still got to be satisfied. But when we get it from the table, all of us will be satisfied. White people don't have to sign up talking about I'm a citizen. Black people don't have to sign up talking about I'm a citizen. Everybody that benefits from the resources of this earth here in America will engage themselves in the process. And everybody got a job, and every job is important. And because you got a job, it entitles you to part ownership of everything that exists. And what you own, you don't suffer for nothing. We're going to change it, ladies and gentlemen, because it's a right thing to do. It's a righteous thing. And we're going to kick evil. One other thing. People in the Republican Party, they got different ideas than Democrats or whatever. But they are still people with different ideas. Some of them right now are standing up for what's righteous, and the rest of them aren't. And the ones that aren't are threatening to kill them, to kill their families, to kill any and everybody. That is a sign of evil. This is a sign of people that's possessed by satanic real thoughts. These are people that are possessed by demonic thoughts. And you got to love them. But in the meantime, know that there's nothing righteous about them. Know when they stand up talking about what they're going to do and who they're going to kill, they don't mean you any good. And you cannot fear them because they are really dependent on you to be afraid. But do the right thing and you will never have to worry about anything. That's why righteous people don't stay around, and they know they're not going to stay around. Boy, I could talk some more, but I'm going to stop right now. Till next time, Eddie Marcus saying goodbye.